Having achieved notoriety as the world's most renowned assassin, John now enjoys retirement after accumulating significant wealth. He yearns for a peaceful life with his wife, Natasha. However, when Natasha decides to spend time with her friend Nora, she entrusts John with the care of her stepdaughter, Sung-young. The 17-year-old girl is left fatherless following a divorce. Although initially hesitant, John concedes to babysitting Sung-young at Natasha's urging, despite his reservations about hosting an unfamiliar young girl in their home. The next day, John drops off Natasha and Nora at the airport, beginning an unexpected chapter in his retired life. In the evening, John picks up Sung-yoon at a coffee shop. During the ride, Sung-yoon expresses her desire to spend the night at her friend's house, and John agrees. However, before parting ways, he discreetly places some cash and a tracking device in her wallet to keep tabs on her location. John drops Sung-yoon and her friend off at the mall and heads home. But in the dead of night, Sung-yoon calls him, complaining of severe stomach pain. An anxious John rushes to her aid, only to find her enjoying time with her boyfriend. Feeling deceived and furious, he questions her about her initial plan to stay at her friend's place, but Sung-yoon remains unresponsive, engrossed in a phone conversation. John grapples with frustration, but keeps it in check as Sung-yoon requests he leave since another friend has invited her over. As he begins to depart, he spots Sung-yoon heading somewhere with her boyfriend, realizing her deceit. Witnessing intoxicated girls, John senses his responsibility and tails Sung-yoon. His tracking device reveals her location in a secluded area. There, he encounters Donna, who coerces Sung-yoon into pleasing a client for $200. Sung-yoon's boyfriend intentionally led her there. Donna threatens her, prompting Sung-yoon to retaliate verbally. Before Donna can strike, John intervenes, asserting that if Sung-yoon doesn't want to comply, they won't be allowed to leave. "I won't leave until Sung-yoon is safe," John vows, and when Sung-yoon's boyfriend confronts him, he mistakes John for an easy target. Little does he know that John is a skilled fighter who effortlessly disarms him. A brawl ensues, and John bests all the other guys present. With authority, he orders them to leave, but Donna attempts a knife attack, which John effortlessly thwarts, leaving her unconscious. John then departs with Sung-yoon, earning her trust. As their friendship blossoms, they dine out. On their way home, they encounter a police checkpoint where Officer Lee questions John about recent college student murders. After a brief interrogation, Lee allows John to continue on his way. John researches the incident online, discovering that the boys he fought with the previous night were the victims. This revelation leaves him with a sense of remorse. The following morning, Officer Lee visits John's home to inquire, showing him CCTV footage of his car near the crime scene. John artfully deflects suspicion, suggesting other vehicles used the same route. However, when Lee presents a photo showing Sung-yoon with the deceased boys, John avoids scrutiny due to the image's poor quality. Lee's meticulous investigation raises John's suspicions. After Lee's departure, Sung-yoon apologizes, overwhelmed with fear. Her expression triggers a memory of a past encounter. A girl on the brink of suicide encounters John, who persuades her to abandon her despair and embrace life anew. Meanwhile, Donna contacts Sung-young, revealing the tragic fate of the boys and the knife's fingerprints. She threatens to implicate John if he doesn't meet her within the hour. John reluctantly agrees and leaves a tracking bracelet with Sung-young. Before meeting Donna, he crosses paths with Jung, her cousin, who traffics underage girls. Jang orders an attack on John, which he swiftly thwarts. John confronts Donna, demanding the knife with his fingerprints, embarking on a high-stakes encounter. Refusing to surrender the knife with his fingerprints, John resorts to tormenting one of Jung's henchmen. Jung, alarmed, throws the knife towards John, who bends to retrieve it. In a sudden turn, Jung shoots at John and flees, leaving him in pursuit. In a room, John encounters a formidable fighter, ultimately prevailing but not before leaving his opponent severely wounded. Returning home, he discovers that Sung-young has been kidnapped. Employing the tracking bracelet, he locates her and arms himself, heading to her location. In a desolate street, John confronts Donna, who panics and flees. Cornered, Donna discloses Sung-young's fate explaining that their operation involved abducting underage girls and selling them. Sung Young, an attractive virgin, had been targeted by a wealthy client who'd paid handsomely for her. John presses for Sung Young's whereabouts. Donna discloses the hotel address where Sung Young was held captive, but she lacks information about the mysterious client. As John heads to the hotel, police officers, led by Officer Lee, arrive at Donna's location. They discover Donna dead in a room. Simultaneously, John enters the hotel where a group attacks him. An experienced fighter and killer, John dispatches them effortlessly. But Sung Young isn't there. Yuri, a formidable fighter working for the Russian mafia, confronts John. He reveals Sung Young's imminent transfer to Russia on a ship at 8 a.m. the next day. John refrains from fighting Yuri, prioritizing Sung Young's rescue over personal combat. Attempting to leave, John is pursued by Yuri, resulting in a prolonged and intense fight. As both were skilled fighters, they presented formidable competition. John ingeniously escapes by tying Yuri with a rope and leaping from a window, landing on Officer Lee's car. Facing Officer Lee's gun, John swiftly disarms him, taking him hostage and fleeing in his car to rescue Sung Young. Arriving at the cargo port where Sung Young was being sent to Russia, John launches an assault against the gangsters responsible for her kidnapping, ultimately saving her. Zhang attacks, but John defeats him, demanding to know the identity of the client. Zhang remains silent, prompting John to shoot him. The discovery of a mobile phone reveals that Zhang's last call was to Officer Lee, implicating him in the trafficking ring. John coerces Lee to reveal the ringleader, or he'll expose Lee's corruption to the media. A police team is en route. At the hospital, Lee acquiesces, telling officers the situation was a police operation, and he directs John and Sung Young to the hospital. After Sung Young regains consciousness, she apologizes to John, who reassures her it's not her fault. In the hospital, Lee informs John about the multiple murders he committed to save Sung Young, but claims to have covered them up. John, however, saw Donna's body in Lee's car trunk on the day, realizing Lee worked for Zhang's boss. He confronts Lee, who admits to removing Donna's body to evade a police investigation. John presses Lee to provide information about the Russian mafia involved in trafficking girls, despite the risks, and Lee eventually agrees. Lee, fearing the evidence John possesses, contacts him the following day, providing the address of a hotel where a gang member named Park stays. This gang specializes in kidnapping underage girls for trafficking to Russia. On the other hand, Park realizes that Interpol is closing in on him and attempts to flee the hotel, but John intercepts him. In a relentless showdown, John eliminates Park's men one by one and inflicts a severe beating on Park, pressing for information about the man who sought Sung Young. Park contacts a woman involved in their operation known as Pig Mama. From their conversation, John discovers that the man behind Sung Young's abduction is Judge Kim. Park reveals their sinister process, kidnapping underage girls, with the judge exploiting one, while the others are sold in Russia and Asia for exorbitant profits. After extracting all the information from Park, John eliminates him. He contacts a team who swiftly arrives to clean the crime scene, removing all the bodies and evidence to erase any traces. This specialized crew serves gangsters and the mafia, ensuring no incriminating proof remains. Subsequently, John meets his arms-dealing partner and acquires a powerful sniper. As he prepares, Lee contacts him, disclosing the judge's identity as the mastermind. This influential figure holds a presidential position in the Central District, protected by high-ranking politicians. Unfazed by political ties, John secures the judge's address, unfaltering in his role as a professional assassin, unafraid of politicians or law enforcement. After extracting information from Lee, John heads to the hotel where Judge Kim is engaging with women. With a sniper, John eliminates the judge's men one by one. Meanwhile, Pig Mama arranges for a new girl to entertain the judge. In an unceasing onslaught, John takes them out relentlessly. Yuri joins the fray, exchanging gunfire with John. Officer Lee, initially aligned with John, turns on him at gunpoint. Yuri captures John, presenting him before the judge. John inquires if the judge is behind Sung Young's demand, to which the judge smirks. The judge orders Lee to execute John, but John swiftly overpowers them, defeating the assailants. He tells Lee he's only seeking a conversation. In the showdown, John kills Lee, leaving Yuri to engage him in a fierce battle. Ultimately, John overpowers Yuri, inflicting severe injuries and finishing him off. John then reaches the judge's room, and the judge, realizing his fate, tries to bribe him with money and an offer of collaboration. John inquires about Pig Mama, learning she is involved in their illicit business. After extracting information, John eliminates the judge. Meanwhile, Natasha and her friend Nora chat. Nora answers a call from the judge's phone, revealing her involvement in the human trafficking operation, selling her adopted daughter Sung Young for profit, as she wasn't her biological child. With Judge's demise, John reaches out to Nora using the judge's phone. As Nora answers the call from inside her car, she's startled to find John in the back seat. Unaware of his identity as a professional killer, she believed him to be an ordinary person. John escorts Nora out of the city, assuring her he'll protect Sung Young, and then he eliminates her. John contacts the cleanup team to erase any remaining evidence. Finally, he reunites with his wife, Natasha, and they embrace. It's revealed that the girl John had saved from suicide in the past was Natasha herself. The movie concludes with this poignant reunion,